Hi everyone. My name is Jack Ding, and I'm going to Pierre Le Trudeau, and I'm in grade 11. Now, I am here because I was recently in a musical, and I understand that you people want to know about musicals or have any questions about, kind of getting into it. What's the experience like? So, why are you guys here?
Where do you find places where you can sign up to be in a musical? And how musical do you need to be? Because my voice is kind of bad.
Okay, so those were two very, very good questions. Now, about the first question, which is how do you find out about places like this? It's all about roaming on the internet and looking for opportunities and websites and different places where you can get this information. So for example, I actually auditioned because I found it through a website. And as for your second question, when you talk about how musicals you have to be, there's a very big range because there are several roles that can be fulfilled in a musical. So if you are very musical and you have a lot of skill in both, acting, singing, and dancing, then you can take a lead. But if you don't, then you can always still participate in the show, or you can act as stage crew as well. Yes,
Can
David.
you tell us about your experiences being in the choir and being that male lead of your choir?
Okay, yeah, so just a little, context into that. Grade 8, 9, and 10, and currently 11, I'm the male leader of our choirs, which means that in our choir, I help the guys out with singing. I tell them, this is what you should be doing. I also provide any help to other people outside of the choir in case they need help. And overall, I try to communicate directly with the music teacher so that when she's teaching us, she can help the guys out specifically, because overall guys aren't as musical as females. So yeah. Yes.
Can you tell us the plot line for your musical?
Okay, very good question, Jeffrey. So my musical is called Jesus Christ Superstar, and for anyone who basically understands, the Bible or the story of Jesus Christ Superstar talks about the last week of Jesus' life, where he was facing a lot of social pressure from the Romans. God bless you, and he was being pressured by Judas as well as some other apostles. So yeah, so it's about the relationship between Judas and Jesus, because Judas eventually realizes that he's probably not the Son of God, that Jesus isn't. So Judas starts questioning whether or not he should rat Jesus out into the Roman authorities for blasphemy. Yes?
How do you prepare beforehand? You won't be nervous and cracking your voice during the performance.
It's all about taking time out of performances in order to prepare. So you have to do a lot of vocal exercises in between, and it's also about training your voice every single day. Yes.
Alright, so this is actually the question I'm actually really interested in. So I actually play a few instruments, I play alto sax. I've tried to play French horn, I quit after a while, it was insanely difficult. I play piano, like most people do. But are there instances where a musical would actually hire a band to help them perform the pieces?
Yeah, I mean we actually for Jesus Christ Superstar, we actually had a very a small group of people, and they were the pit band, which means that we performed in Markham Theatre. So then you have the theater, and then underneath you have a hollow space. It's quite hard to actually make it as a pit band because you have to be very, very experienced. The people who were there, we had actually 30-year-olds who've been playing that music, who've been playing their instruments for their entire lives. So yeah, it's something that you can get into, but you have to have a lot of experience. Yes.
Have you guys ever competed in any competitions?
When I say that I performed in a musical, it doesn't mean that I performed as part of a school. It means that I performed as part of a separate organization that took musical people from different schools. So you actually had to audition. It's not just part of, just being as part of that school. So you can't be part of a competition, right? What we did was we just got together, we rehearsed 14 hours a week to put together that show. Yes, David.
Moving on, can you tell us why musical theater is important?
Okay. Musical theater is actually very important. It's not, People don't usually think so, but I guess overall the arts is something that's quite important for a lot of different reasons. But before I go into those reasons, yes, Jeffrey.
Have you ever gone onto like any TV shows like Breakfast Television or Fairchild? Or...
No, I haven't gone on TV shows. Thanks for reminding me. Yes.
For a lot of people say that it's really hard to find a job related like stuff.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well, when I say that I think musical theater is important, it doesn't mean that you should go into it as a career. I personally don't, like, I would not, like, suggest that any of you go into musical theater as, like, a career simply because it's not, like, it's not a good career. Like, it's really not. But the purpose of taking musical theater is not just because you want to go into that career, right? If you take an extracurricular, it's not because you want to, be that person. If you take debate, it's not because you want to be a politician or a lawyer. And if you take Model UN, it's not because you want to be a diplomat in the actual UN, right? You take these things because they provide experiences that can help you in whatever, you want to go into. Yes?
What got you into music?
Okay, this is actually, okay, should I tell you the personal?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be honest. In grade 8, I was singing I was pretty good at instrument. I played the trombone very, very well. I was in like jazz band and a bunch of stuff like that. But then the thing is, in grade 8, our school, like my school, William Bursey, was holding a musical called Mulan. And this girl that I really liked was auditioning. So then I decided to audition. But the thing is, she didn't get the part and I did, and I kind of regretted it. But then after a while, I realized how good it was, and I've sort of been with music and sort of vocal music more specifically ever since.
What part were you?
What?
What part were you?
I was, that guy's name? Yeah.
Were you the male lead?
Mulan's guy or like?
Yeah, Mulan's good. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about why it's important. So the reason why it's important is because universities actually do value like the fact that you have art, and because a lot of times you have these Asian people who are applying to universities and all they have are academics, and that's not really good. It's also important to be able to show distinction within yourself, and that's why you take art, so that you can show that you're not just a bunch of 95% and stuff like that. So David, what's the next part of my presentation?
I'm actually.
Just a quick question. Like, do you know how much universities actually value like musical theater as opposed to other art? Because obviously they value art. I'm not sure how much they value art in general, how much they value musical theater.
Musical theater would probably be pretty important because they like to accept extroverts rather than introverts, and like a lot of people take art and music. So like musical theater would be something like different.
Well, like no university gives like a specific weighing of how much art that you take. I think it's all about being able to select what you think is the most important and what you like doing the best, and it's also the importance of taking like a variety. So like I do vocal, I do musical theater, and I also do instrument training and stuff like that. So it's all about having a variety, especially in something like art. All right, David, what's next?
I'm actually scrolling up right now. Okay, so.
Okay, so while David's scrolling, do any of you have any other general questions?
Can you tell us about JCS?
I already did.
Oh, okay. Well, you have 2 number 5, so can you talk about like other musical companies and like
Okay.
other ways to get involved and your own experiences step by step?
Okay, sure. So I'll give some step-by-step experiences. So the first thing that what happened was that in March, I was looking for something in terms of experience, and I wanted to be involved in something related to art because I realized that was missing, and I needed, to do that. So what I did was I just went on the internet and I just randomly Googled Markham because that was where I was, youth because I'm a youth, and theater because that's what I want to go into. And it actually came up. There's a company called Markham Youth Theater, which worked out pretty well for me. So I signed up, I auditioned. At the audition, it went pretty horribly because I forgot the lyrics to both of my songs. But because I was a guy, I had a huge advantage because very few guys are actually able to sing, and there are a fair number of male roles in musical theaters and musicals. So I was pretty set. So I didn't really have to try for the audition. In terms of, I ended up if any of you didn't hear, I ended up playing Caiaphas, who's a high priest in kind of the biblical times of Jesus, and he tries to slaughter Jesus by trying to prove that he's not the Son of God, and trying to put him in jail and to crucify him and things like that. So,
Being part of the musical theater, did you take a lot of
I'm gonna get into that later. It actually did take away quite a bit. So like in terms of rehearsal, right? Like once we realized who was doing what, and we got into the swing of rehearsal, I used to rehearse every Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Sundays were for I think 5 hours, 5 hours straight. Mondays were for 4 hours straight, and Tuesdays were 4 hours straight. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It was really hard because it did take away a lot of time. But the thing is, by the time I had known my role, it was pretty close to the summer, so I only had to suffer a little bit before, we were doing summer rehearsals. Yeah, well, like, my finals were pretty easy. Like, I had courses that I was pretty good in, so it was pretty easy for me. Yeah. So then, let's see. After doing rehearsals, we were all pretty tired, but the thing is, we all started to bond a lot, and that's one of the great things about musical theater is that you make a lot of new friends, you make a lot of new homies, and sorry, I'm a little sick. And you also get to know a lot of different people. Like I made a lot of different friends, and I was able to network a lot, which again is really important because in the end it's all about knowing different people, and musical theater is really good for that. And so then we started going into the actual theater, and the theater rehearsals were really tough because we had an entire week of rehearsals. Each day was about 10 hours long, which would be like 8 to 8. So that was very hard. And then eventually we did the show. It was a pretty good success. We actually sold out, and there were like a lot of people who couldn't go in. So in the end, yeah, it was proud. We were proud. It took a lot of work though, so yes.
Did you have to pay to be a part of it?
No, it's about well, the thing is, sorry, certain theater organizations may run their pricing differently. So in some cases, you have to pay a flat fee, or it depends on the number of tickets that you can sell, right? So usually it's a balance of that. So if you sell no tickets, then you would have to pay, I think, like $200 because there are fees, like several fees to the musical, right? So like set, lighting, and stuff like that. But then if you can sell enough tickets, then you offset, what you have to pay, right? So then I actually ended up paying nothing. Yes.
But by that logic, couldn't you possibly end up gaining a profit?
Well, yeah.
Or would they just take the profit?
They would just take the profit. They would just.
So once you start making profit, you basically get no return.
Yeah. But like,
other than a sold out show and you're just
Well, that's not how macroeconomics works.
well, but the thing is, you're not providing the tickets, right? Like Markham Theater is, so that you can't do that. So yeah. David, what's next? Oh wait, do any of you have any questions so far? I know that some of you came in a little bit late, so if you have any questions overall, feel free to ask.
Okay, so the next part is your challenges and benefits.
Okay, so some challenges. So I think that one of the biggest challenges was definitely time. So as I mentioned before, it was it took a lot out of me, like every single day being able to dance and sing and do that for a very long time, very consistently takes a lot out of you. And that's one of the biggest challenges, which is the fact that it takes a lot of dedication and input in order to get that show, right? Because in the end, we're not hiring professionals to teach us, and we're not, this is very much an independent organization. So everyone that helps us, so like vocal coaches and directors, they're all volunteers. So our director was actually in university. We had a vocal coach who was doing this for fun. We had a fight trainer, who taught us stage combat. They were all volunteers. And so that's another thing that's quite hard, which is that you can't expect everything to be very perfect, especially when you're working challenges. but I think that in the end, a lot of the benefits that come out of it are much better because in the end, I did end up learning a lot about, well, like my time management became much better because of it. So it's good for anything, like for any challenge overall, because you put that pressure on yourself and you kind of force yourself to adjust and you force yourself to kind of be more efficient at what you do. So that was something that I definitely learned. Because I was also tired after rehearsal, I had to take like a 30-minute nap afterwards. Yeah, and another really big benefit is that you also get to meet a lot of different people, and because of that, you get to learn more about what they do, and you also get to learn about different opportunities that they can actually provide. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Do they have like these programs for just for the summer?
I think none of them actually have it just for the summer, and the reason why is because actually getting from start to finish of a musical is actually very difficult. Because the first thing you have to do is make sure that everyone who you want to hire or everyone that can help you out is ready, and you also have to set, okay, where are we going to perform, and where are we going to rehearse, and who's going to be paying for this. That all has to be prepared before we start doing anything. And then you have to get into the audition process. And that's also about advertising, saying we want people to come in. And then it's about rehearsal. It's about creating a very rigorous schedule so that you can learn it. And by the time all of that is over and final rehearsals and costumes and makeup and all of this is done, it takes much more than just 2 months. Like I think that my, personally, the JCS one lasted, I think, 5 to 6 months. Yeah.
How long was the actual show?
The actual show was, I think, around 2 hours. Yeah. And yeah, 2 hours plus intermission and plus anything else. Yeah.
What kind of music did you perform?
So JCS is a rock opera, which means that, as opposed to some of the musical theaters that are very, very happy, or some of the musicals that are very, sad, we kind of just did a very hard and gritty songs. So that was really nice because I specifically like singing those songs. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. That's it. Mama just killed a man, put a gun upon his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun, but now you've gone and thrown it all away. Mama. Okay, that's it, yeah. Yes.
When are you doing the next one?
What do you mean?
I couldn't make it to the one you
Yeah,
just did because I was like busy with something.
And you didn't tell me about JCS. I would have totally watched.
Oh, you mean the musical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you gonna do another one? Because I
Yeah, I'm
want to
doing-
support you, bro.
Okay. Yeah, I'm doing another musical probably in March. Yeah. So I'm being part of JCS again because not part of I'm part of Markham Youth Theater again because the director actually had he has a lot of schoolwork because he is actually in university. So then me and another guy have kind of agreed to kind of try to organize it a little bit. So I'm gonna be part of that. So you guys should come.
How much are the tickets?
Last year tickets were $25, so it's pretty steep.
The male lead, or are you gonna be the male lead?
Male lead, that would depend on the role because the reason, my role is not the actual male lead because the male lead's role was too high. Like I can't sing that high.
Oh, okay.
So we actually had a guy who was very good at doing that and a girl sing
male lead?
the male leads. Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah. So I can't. I actually sing a role that was insanely low.
I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
Do you have time for any other extracurricular?
Yeah, at the time I was doing debate, DECA. I was actually teaching debate at another school and a bunch of stuff like that. So yeah, it's all about
And you're gonna score by me and
Yeah, you still maintain your grades.
yeah, well the thing is I think I have to give credit to the classes I took because they were related to things that I already knew. Want to suggest any songs you want me to
Yeah,
say?
you guys have
Maybe
any
request?
Rainbow.
request.
What?
Somewhere
Over
in
the
the
rainbow?
I don't know. That's a pretty high range, but I'll try. Okay. Do you know? Somewhere over high, high, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I?